Well, go in the front with him. Go in the front with him, son. Shalom, shalom, everybody. Shalom, shalom with Shilo. Read with Shilo. Welcome back. Welcome back. Calm down. We're here with the next edition of this reading. We're going to get into chapter 4. Chapter 4 of The Black Man's Guide to Understanding. Hey, calm down. The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman by Shahrazad Ali. You're not going to find it in that book. You'll find it now.
I found it.
We read chapters 1, 2, and 3 the last time. Some pretty long. At least chapter 3 was pretty long. Pretty decent. A lot of good stuff to learn and grow from. And we're here to see what else we can learn and grow from. So chapter 4, the wedding, the beginning. I think that's a good one. I think that's a good place. Yeah, if you don't know who she is, go check out Miss Shahrazad Ali. Look, got a little head wrap, look at that little head dress. We talk about it. But anyway, we've already read The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. We're reading this one, The Black Man. Hey. What I already told both of you. What did I tell both of you? Go on the front. Go on the front. Leave the books alone. Go on the front. Well, then you have to sit in here and be quiet then. So which one is it going to be? All right, my bad. Go check Miss Shahrazad Ali out. I'd rather them sit down and listen to the book, but we'll see. Who knows? They might sit down and listen later. Chapter 4. The wedding, the beginning. Let's see what she's talking about. Hey! Who can forget the beginning? That wonderful startup time referred to as the courtship and going together. My highlighters ready. Pen ready, just in case some new stuff. This is the period when the Black woman is the most cooperative and malleable. It's that wonderful and glorious state when tender, loving attraction is at its peak. During this time, the Black man and the Black woman cannot stay apart. It is too painful to be away from each other for an extended period of time. Every touch is magic, every glance ecstasy. And the delicious exploration of sex is brand new. Spine-tingling excitement, overwhelming enjoyment. How could it ever end? The patient, the perpetuating desire of new love. The Black woman stares into the admiring eyes of the Black man and reflects his loving gaze with worshiping innocence. Her eyes give the temporary and false promise that she will always remain in submission and feel lucky to have her man's love. She is agreeable, complimentary, affectionate, and giving. Nothing is too good for her man during this period. Life and love are sterling pure. Magnetic attraction is in force, and neither side is able to withstand the pull because they created it. More lies are told during this stage than will ever be told again. The Black woman spares no expense or energy to convince the Black man that she is the mate for him. Naturally, he believes her because he wants to. She makes him feel like a king. She is alluring and soothing. During a lengthy courtship, she is available and willing to try anything the Black man suggests. She is thoughtful in sending him cards and little love notes, taking time to do special little favors for him. His favorite meals, his favorite color, his favorite treatment, expressed using her favorite plot. Her flexible and happy behavior turns out to be a gross misrepresentation of how she really is. After the point when she feels confident, she has the man, she starts to take a kind of inventory. She memorized and, cataloged all of her man's little idiosyncrasies that she plans to change. She believes she will be able to change the black man by subtle probing and sweet requests. Sometimes these changes are momentary. Sometimes these changes are monumental rearrangements of his personality that he has had all of his life. Nevertheless, she thinks that he can change, and she does not doubt that she is the one to change him. The black man knows nothing about this plan and believes that she accepts him as he is, just as he accepts her. It may take quite a while for the initial passion and attraction to subside, and it's a fun-filled time of dating, dinners, travel, calls, and uninhibited sexual play. The black man thinks that her attentions and interests will last indefinitely. The black woman knows that they will not. She weans him slowly using excuses and justifiable sounding explanations. When the black woman becomes busy with normal life activities, the first thing she gives up, eliminates, or sacrifices is loving attention to the black man. She believes that after she gets him, he is expendable and adult, and should understand when she has more pressing things to do. If anything has to be squeezed in, it's him. If anything has to be squeezed out, it's also him. Instead of his care being paramount, it becomes something the black woman does on the run. While it is a natural occurrence for work, the house, and the children to take up a certain amount of time, it's not a natural occurrence for the loving attention to the black man to stop. The time may become shorter to express it, but it should not become more infrequent. If the black woman develops giving attention to the black man as part of her daily living, it would preserve the thrill of the relationship, establish a closeness not always based on sexual intimacy. It is not that she necessarily takes him for granted, it's just that she does not place the right value on his presence. In some homes, he walks into the house and is completely ignored. He is often made to feel like an intruder in his own household, someone who is sometimes in the way of other things and people who are more important to the black woman than the black man. In younger women, the courtship may be altered a bit in thematic arrangement. If she has ideas about having some female macho equality, she might start out from the beginning letting the black man know that she has no intentions of catering to his every whim or any of his whims. She doesn't think it's her responsibility, and she thinks that every man should do for himself like she does for herself. She has very prolific sounding explanations about why she feels the way she does. Take it or leave it. He should leave it. She does not feel that her attitude will have impact on the success of the relationship. She is just exercising her options and believes her choices to be minor and harmless. She is interested in having a black man, but not interested enough to put on any special act for him. Certainly no encores or repeat performances. The wedding ceremony. For the contemporary black woman, big, expensive, elaborate weddings are in. Their requirements are big ceremony, big church, big reception, big, expensive wedding, big floral arrangements, big catered menu, big matching wardrobes for the attendants, big honeymoon, big ego production, and big cash expenditures. But this is the black woman's shining hour. She is the center of attention, the star, and her wedding is the public symbol of her wonderful life waiting ahead. It is a glorious tribute to her big announcement that I got him. The black man cooperates and participates in all this hoopla, because he is prompted by both families and mostly because he wants to please his woman. She not only wants it, she demands it. Although his nature may tell him that this is too much money to spend on publicly agreeing to, in front of several hundred witnesses, that they are now married. Sometimes $5,000 to $50,000 or more is spent on the wedding affair, and a lot of this money comes out of the black man's pocket. Gone are the days when the woman foots the bill for the entire wedding. The black woman is not concerned with the financial strain, will beg, borrow, and charge to produce this show. Later on, when viewing the videotape of this main event, it may be difficult for the black man to believe that his wife could orchestrate such a synchronized attraction, but now finds it impossible to get dinner on the table every night at a reasonable time. Sometimes the woman may look at the tape over and over again, remembering what she may describe as the most beautiful period of her life. Sometimes the man gets lost in the shuffle of the wedding plans and finds himself standing around trying to figure out his part in this. Usually, several family fights and disagreements occur on both sides before the grand day takes place. They rumble. After the honeymoon, the couple returns home to start living out the black woman's dream of married life. She immediately takes on the rest of the job of trying to set her life in order. It is also at this time she completely relaxes and lets the black man know bit by bit that she expects him to carry his part of the load and make a few changes. Now that they are really married, now comes the real deal. Few black women cross the threshold of marriage without a careful outlined mental plan of how she intends to change her man to suit her wishes. She sees marriage as a contract whereby she can be herself, the wrong self. She believes that the only way to maintain control of her life is to maintain control of her man. This control starts by trying to keep up with him, to know his whereabouts at all times. Often, she'll ask questions about where he's been and then sneakily ask him the same question at another time to see if he'll give the same response. One of the worst mistakes the black man can make when living with the black woman is to start out telling her every step he takes when he's not with her. The first time she tricks him into answering, she will expect an explanation from then on. The reasons she uses to pry into his comings and goings are: number one, I worry about you, and you can at least call. Number two, you ask me where I go. Number three, because I have the right to know. I'm your wife or woman. Number four, somebody was looking for you. Number five, so I'll know what's going on or what's happening. Number six, because I just want to know. Certainly, the black man desires to inform the black woman. Certainly, if the black man desires to inform the black woman of his whereabouts, he can do so. But the problem in trying to comply with her slanted curiosity, which is really interrogation, is that the black man can never be sure of what point in the deposition he will give the wrong answer and put her in a mental hell that may last for days. Her questions represent distrust and insecurity. She spends a lot of time during her day thinking up ways to bust the black man, and she will worry over any unsettled details, and could the atmosphere with suspicion and doubt. And she will worry over any unsettled details, and could the atmosphere, I think it's supposed to be something else, and could the atmosphere with suspicion and doubt. The two most, yeah, I got a question mark. The two most baneful emotions in her relationship, although she won't admit it, her position is that if you ain't with me or a crowd of witnesses, then you must be doing something wrong. Or if you ain't with me, then you must be with somebody else. Or how come you can't tell me where you were? She does not really believe that what she doesn't know can't hurt her. Everything hurts her, and she thinks it's the black man's fault. If the black woman would take a moment to be truthful and admit her fears and the root of her despair, she would have better communications with the black man. And honesty is what she says she wants. But she only wants it from one side, his. She is so angry with the black man that she does not want him to have glorious experiences of having a good woman, the kind of woman who is in submission to her man and loves it, the kind of woman who obeys because she wants to obey and not because she is forced into doing so. That one's a big one. She is angry with the black man. She is so angry with the black man that she does not want him to have a glorious experience of having a good woman. A good woman, the kind of woman who is in submission to her man and loves it. The kind of woman who obeys because she wants to obey and not because she is forced into doing so. The current black woman denies any notions of yearning to be under the black man's control. She pushes this idea out of her mind by recalling that he doesn't deserve it anyway. Why? Because he will not do what she wants him to do. She does not know the luxury of relaxing and living her life for her black man and doing everything she can to make him happy. By letting the black man be the head of the family, she could revive him. And by getting behind him and supporting him, he could be free. The black woman cannot know freedom until the black man does. The wise say a man can rise no higher than his woman. Until the black woman makes a conscious choice to start respecting the black man, he will remain in his current condition and decline even more. Some black women say they are satisfied with the status quo of their relationships and wouldn't have it any other way. They are lying. They are just trifling and enjoy quibbling and use these tactics to delay the inevitable for as long as possible. When the black woman accepts her rightful place as queen of the universe and mother of civilization, the black man will regenerate his powers that have been lost to him for over 400 years directly. That's right, that is crocodile.
I just found it.
The black woman should not mimic the ideas and attitudes of Western civilization. The white woman or the white man clearly understands that the preservation of the family order is what allows him to rule the world. This fact is not hidden knowledge. When the standards that preserve civilization are disregarded, the result is a do your own thing, reckless and disorganized existence. The domestic crime rate in America bears witness to the breakdown of the family structure and the demise of the traditional values that preserve peace between women and men. The ceremony. There have arisen endless creative expressions of how to exchange the wedding vows, and many are quite interesting. But the standard theme contains the standard American design format. Little does the black woman know the entire wedding ceremony was taken from the white man's history of being in the cave, which is referred to as prehistoric times. It was out of the caveman period that they devised the marriage rites, and each segment of the ceremony denotes a particular aspect of their life in the cave. It has no black cultural background in it. All right. Most have seen the pictures of the white caveman walking with a club over his shoulder, dragging the white woman behind him. This picture is the brunt of many jokes suggesting that this is how the white man claimed his woman. The following definitions explain how they claim how they came to use the seemingly timeless marital rights. Thank you, son. Whew. The ring is symbolic of the rope or cord or vine used to tie up the woman, the bride, in order to conquer her, and it was used to bind her wrists and ankles while kidnapping her from her tribe. This was done by the groom. The ring bearer is the man who went with the groom to steal the bride, his own boy. He is the one who carried the extra rope. It took 2 or 3 men to pull the heist. The attendants. The best man, who was the man who went with the groom to steal the bride. Good job. The throwing of rice is symbolic of the rocks and stones the family of the bride threw after the groom when the bride's screams awakened her family and they saw she was being taken.
What? Bishops, queen, and king.
Good job. The honeymoon is symbolic of the cooling off period that followed the taking of the bride. The groom would take her up into the mountain or some far off place and keep her up there until she came into submission to him. Carrying over the threshold, symbolic of the groom carrying the bride into his cave, her new home. He had to carry her because she would not walk into voluntarily. The Maiden of Honor is the woman in the groom's tribe, usually his mother or a friend, who helped the new bride adjust to and learn the ways of life in the new cave. The veil came into practice around 1500 as a form of spirituality, which was designed to keep evil spirits away from the face of the bride. The bride used to throw her garter from around her thigh, also symbolic of the rope or ring used to bound her when kidnapped. But white men used to create such a brawl at the wedding scuffling for the garter that this practice was dropped, and the bride took to throwing her bouquet to the women who were more civilized in their participation. Few black women know what. Few black women know what they are doing when they plan and host a big church wedding. She doesn't care. She should take the time to use her own history to have a wedding ceremony and make her own vows. With all the black woman's profundities about what marriage means, it is just an agreement between a man and a woman to be together and work in the interest of one. It is a commitment concerning daily living between both families. The idea of separating, moving away, cleaving to each other is not an idea from the history of blacks. Blacks used to marry, set up housekeeping, and expand their present households into a larger base. Complete separation was not necessary since the tribe continued to work together for success in having food, clothing, and shelter. Family ties were very strong, and it was not necessary for the man and the woman to give up either of their families just so they could be together. The extended family ties were kept intact. Hey, sons. I shouldn't have to keep telling y'all this. Hey, y'all need to go in the front in the room. It's too cold back here for y'all anyway. Go in the front in the room. You can take it. Okay. You can take it. The extended family ties were kept intact. They also allowed the elder women in the tribe to help guide and assist the wife in adhering to the responsibilities of marriage. Today's Black woman does not want nor seek guidance about how to practice wifedom. She wants a separation so she can have the freedom to run her house any way she pleases, right or wrong. She rarely takes instruction about how to do this. She relies on the various electronic and paper media to guide her along the marriage trail. When her peers, who are also failing at the job of being a good Black woman to a Black man, when in the dead heat about getting married, the Black woman may feel the vibrations of bursting surges of love for her man. A love she intends to carry balanced on the top of her head, encased in a thin, sheer sheet of glass. A love that will shatter and collapse at the slightest quiver. When the Black woman commences to anticipate marriage, she may make widespread changes, which are a trick. All of a sudden, she may get real wifey. She'll cook homemade meals, clean the house a lot, and perform any other feat designed to impress the Black man into recognizing her as a good woman who can perform the necessary duties. Who can perform the necessary duties. All of a sudden, she may get real wifey. She'll cook homemade meals, clean the house a lot, and perform any other feat designed to impress the Black man into recognizing her as a good woman. Okay, so these are all things that put you in the shoes of a good woman. Cook homemade meals, clean the house a lot, on top of other features, other feats designed to impress the Black man. Into recognizing her as a good woman who can perform the necessary duties. She knows that this is the kind of behavior he wants from a woman, so she kicks in and does the things she is sure will please him. And it does. Eventually, he will pop the question, except he really doesn't pop the question as much as the Black woman makes the suggestion and leans on him until he agrees. This short period in which the Black woman makes heaven for the Black man proves that she knows how. It proves that she knows how. But she does the right things for the wrong reasons. Her motivation is treachery and therefore short-lived. Her sometimes abrupt halt to the good treatment is a normal evolution to her. And she feels that he shouldn't have known what the deal was from the get-go. When a Black man realizes he is not only being neglected but nearly ignored, the good sister may go out to Nut City and appear baffled. She doesn't know what he means. Then she explains in great detail why things have changed. She sometimes gives him a choice between what duties he wishes her to perform, since she cannot do both. This is wrong. The Black man has every right to expect and solicit the Black woman to perform her wifely duties to him and the family. The Black man has every right to expect and solicit the Black woman to perform her wifely duties to him and the family. The Black man and family, including the house, must have first priority. First priority, not your job, your career, or whatever you want to call it. The Black man and the family, including the house, must have first priority. The Black women who believe themselves to be so modern as to dismiss the home as a place to bathe and change are suffering from a misunderstanding. The misunderstanding is that they must change with the trends instead of creating the trend that serves them the best and protects the Black nation. Any Black woman who is not concerned with the Black nation as a whole does not deserve to have a Black man. Any black woman who is not concerned with the black nation as a whole does not deserve to have a black man. The good wife syndrome. The good wife syndrome. When the black woman starts out trying to do right regarding her man, her home, and her family, she has a very difficult time with the personal anguish she suffers from the ridicule from other black women. They tease and mock her for trying to fulfill her rightful obligations to her family. I think they call it what they call it today, a pick-me. A pick-me, I think is what they call it today. If she works on a job outside the home, but still attempts to properly care for her family, she will be verbally assaulted and criticized for her efforts. Being a good wife is considered dull and outdated by the modern black woman. Other black women will tell the good wife, number one, you're a fool for working all day and cooking all night. He'll eat if he gets hungry. Number two, why don't you tell him to cook dinner? He gets home before you. Number three, you're a fool to give him all your money. You worked for it. You got a right to spend it on whatever you want to. Number four, I wouldn't take it. Number five, girl, you ain't a slave. Shit. And number six, why don't you go to this party with us this weekend? Number seven, it may be for some people, but it's not for me. I just ain't cut out for it. Number eight, God ain't made the man I do all that for. You're gonna die alone. Number nine, you ought to just tell him that you ain't got to do it. Number 10, girl, I used to do that, but I got help. Number 11, you have to train a man to do what you want him to do. Number 12, it's not fair for him to expect you to do all that. The above 12 remarks are just a sample of what they say in front of her face. Behind her back, they whisper, number one, that's the dumbest bitch I ever seen. Oh, yeah, they say that. Do you hear that shit? Did you hear that shit? That was number two, my bad. Number two. Did you hear that shit? Number three, girl, I bet he's having big fun while she's stuck at home. Number four, I wonder what he's telling her. Number five, do you see how he looks? Number six, he got her in a real trick bag. Number seven, I don't know how they do it. Number eight, I ain't working myself to death for nobody. Number nine, she don't have no idea what's happening. Number 10, I don't know how she can go for that. These are just examples. Some are more cutting than these. It is a travesty for black women to criticize other black women who are married and trying to be a good wife to their man. Being married and doing the right thing is looked upon as ignorant and old-timey. Black women make erroneous charges against a righteous black woman who is trying to do her proper duty to her man, God, and her nation. She should not be mocked, but respected and admired for her good works. Her good works. She must be respected. She should not be mocked, but respected and admired for her good works. Any woman who deprives herself of the absolute thrill of serving and taking care of the black man is depriving herself of a special award. The look of peace and satisfaction on the contented face of a black man has no equal. There is no better heaven for the black man than to have his woman in order. Man, There is no better heaven for the black man than to have his woman in order. And there is no better heaven for the black man than to have his woman in order. The black man who has a supportive woman feels good to go out to work, and his day is productive if he is at peace with his woman. Hell yeah. The only way the black man can be at peace with the black woman is when she is doing what he wants her to do. The only way the black man can be at peace with the black woman is when she is doing what he wants her to do. What he wants her to do. How do you be in peace with your black man? Do what he wants you to do. What he wants you to do. Because every black man different. The black man who sees his woman trying to please him will do everything he can to try to please her. He will make a good husband and a father if given the chance. A man is proud of a good woman and a good home, and it gives him the incentive and confidence to be successful, no matter what the odds are out there. If he knows that when he comes home, he has the tender touch and attention of his woman waiting for him. The black man is the only one who knows what it takes to make the black woman happy because she has no idea what real happiness is. The black man is the only one who knows what it takes to make the black woman happy because she has no idea what real happiness is. But she's running so much interference that the black man rarely gets a chance to be himself and release the love and trust he has because of the black woman's funky attitude. The black man cannot pattern his life in such a way as to have time or memory to constantly remind the black woman that he loves her. Love is not a sentence, it is a demonstration. Love is not a sentence, it is a demonstration. Love is not a sentence. It is a demonstration. If the black woman doubts that her man loves her and the doubt grows, it does not matter after that what the man tries to do or what he says. She will remain unhappy. A black woman who is relaxed at home, cooking, planning a loving welcome for her man, making a dress, or icing a cake is far happier than a black woman sitting at home alone under great duress, waiting on the phone to ring, trying to figure out how to find a man, or chewing her nails off wondering where he is. There is no comparison if contentment and happiness is the goal. The black woman's natural instincts have become so polluted and distorted that she has rejected the plan that works for the one that fails. She is on the wrong path and insists on stumbling on. It should be black people's greatest collective hope that at some point the total effect of the mind tampering during enslavement is understood. The genetic psychological damage done to blacks in slavery has been forgotten as lightweight action. It's a lightweight action that's over and past. It's much more serious and long lasting than that. It has caused the people to be morally estranged from their past. The black woman must be reminded of her duties, and the black man must stop settling for the jumbled ideas she expresses. She must accept her basic ideas from the black man and improve on them instead of rejecting them in the name of having her own way. It has been proven that she does not know what she wants, nor how to get the things she claims she does want. A big degree, a big job, a big car, and a big bank account does not compete with a big, beautiful black man. No way, no day. The black man has allowed himself to be devalued by black women who rank among the most confused species of humanhood on the planet Earth. The black man knows that she is confused about many topics, and the black woman knows that he knows. The black man knows that she is confused about many topics, and the black woman knows that he knows. But until she is stopped and called to order, she believes herself powerless to control how she is. Her first career must be to raising her family and completing the rearing work necessary to improve the black nation. Her first career. They don't want to hear that one. Oh, you want a career? I got you. A wife. A mother. Her first career must be to raising her family and completing the rearing work necessary to improve the black nation. This work cannot be done by anyone else, no matter what they say they represent. Yes, times are moving fast, it seems, and the black woman's previous steady and sturdy values have evaporated into the storm of American social politics. The black woman has attempted to grow and evolve like the white woman, except their history is not the same. The black woman's growth has been retarded and thwarted. The black woman's growth has been retarded and thwarted because she is trying to live her black life based on the values and standards of white life. She justifies all this based on her anger towards the black man for not defending himself. It's entirely possible that hidden someplace in the black woman's psyche is a tremendous fury and loss of confidence in the black man because he was unable to protect her during slavery. Slavery robbed the black man of his natural right to provide and protect his family. Again, she doesn't know what he should have done to stop slavery, but she thinks he should have done something. Of course, there was nothing he could do. He felt as victimized as she, and his brain was equally wounded. The black woman's pain and frustration is so great, and the only vent she pursues for release is to fight against the black man, the only man who really loves her. She battles tooth and nail in a fight that she cannot win, and one that destroys her spirit and makes her ugly to look at. It is difficult to get her to listen to new information about a new approach to living her life because she is so certain that she is justified in being out of order. She knows that she is difficult to tangle with, but she thinks that it is what the black man deserves for being so out of order himself. Part of her discomfort is that she thinks she has the solutions to the black man's problems if he would only listen to her. By nature, the black man cannot submit to the woman. By nature, the black man cannot submit to the woman. When she considers the problems of the black man, she continually looks outward. She lists oppression, depression, and obsession as part of his failings. She compiles lists filled with such topics as joblessness, lack of political clout, lack of historical knowledge, poor education, missing father image, and a host of other external mishaps that result in the black man behaving disenfranchised. It never occurs to her to look internally at herself and see what her role is in the black man's plight. If and when she does examine herself, she comes out clean. She can find no fallacy in her that helps keep the black man down. Confidentiality and trust. Black women reveal all of the black man's personal business to her friends. If the black man has any special information he tells his woman in confidence, you can be sure that her best friend or her family members know too. She takes a special glee in letting her friends know the most intimate details and secrets, even his antics in bed and anything else of a personal and confidential nature. She does not consider that that a confidence has been violated, nor that it is unfair to the black man who entrusted her with the information. No black woman ever tells anything black women, excuse me, no black woman ever tells another black woman that she is wrong to tell her man's business to the public. This process is an agreed and acceptable dialogue among black women. It is also certain that some of the information she tells her girlfriend ends up getting whispered into the ears of her girlfriend's man. The black man is betrayed twice this way. His business is all over town and he doesn't even know it. She tells everything, everything. No subject is too private or too sacred. Many black men think that the black woman is trustworthy with his innermost secrets, but she is not. And she expresses no guilt about it. She is the warped, she, I mean, such is the warped agreement between black women. Hey, what I told you, what I told both of you, what I told both of you, huh? No, yeah, yes, sir. That's one. That's one. That's one. But I told you both that it's too cold back here for both of you. No, no, no. Put the books up. I'm glad you want to read, but you need to put the books up. I need y'all to go in the front in the room where it's warm. You understand, son?
Yes, sir.
What I want you to do. Hold on. What do I want you to do?
Here.
Okay, yes, sir. And go where? Go where?
I don't know.
In the room where it's warm.
Yes,
Yes, sir. In the room where it's warm. Do you feel my hands cold? Do you feel my cold hands? Oh, you cold. So go in the room where it's warm. I want y'all where it's warm.
How we need to go?
Hey, we'll worry about that later. Y'all go in the room where it's warm. Hurry up. Get in that room. Many black men think that the black woman is trustworthy with his innermost secrets, but she is not. And she expresses no guilt about it. Such is the warped agreement between black women and part of their secret society with mutually agreed upon rules and bylaws. This is a woman-only club that thrives daily. The membership consists of single and married women. They all do the same thing. They tell. Whenever the black woman suspects that her black man has shared their business with another man or his family, she becomes appalled. How could he do such a thing? Black men who tell are looked down upon with special disdain. She thinks that a man is just not supposed to do this. She is a hypocrite. She has become so adept at attacking the black man for whatever she decides is a good reason that she functions as if he is her open enemy and she packs an arsenal of ammunition to shoot him down at every turn. She is calculating every word he says and every move he makes, wants him to do. Every move he makes, examining him to figure out ways to get him to do what she wants him to do. These constant calculations leave little time for positive discoveries of ways to drop her defenses and let her man lead the way. It is not easy for a black man to be motivated if his woman doubts him, or if their relationship is so stormy that it takes his head and robs him of the ability to concentrate. For some black men, his woman is the only thing wrong in his life. I agree with that, man. For some black men, his woman is the only thing wrong in his life. She has broken his spirit deep in his heart. Some have developed what appears to be a startling attitude about the black woman being out of order. They have started to accept her disagreeable behavior as a norm and cooperate with her ignorance because he does not think he has any alternative. Some black men have commenced to saying that they want a black woman who is, number one, financially independent. Number two, her own person. Number three, can do things on her own and doesn't count on me for anything. Number four, who makes her own decisions. Number five, is a professional career woman. Number six, likes to have a good time without becoming attached. This is what the black man really wants, but he sees nonsense in swimming upstream against an apparent current. If he wants to have a woman, it's obvious. Excuse me. My bad. Let me read it again. This is not what the black man really wants, but he sees no sense in swimming upstream against an apparent current if he wants to have a woman. It is obvious to him that the black woman wants a separate, independent life while claiming she wants peace and unity with the black man. It is impossible for these two aspirations to occupy the same space or be targeted at the same object at one time. One cannot have separation and unity simultaneously. The real black man does not want a woman who professes any of the six aforementioned ideas. In his heart, he does not want this in his woman, but he too is convinced that this is his only option if he wants to be with her. And he has proven that he wants to be with her. On closer examination of the six postures of the new breed of black woman, it is found that number one, financial independent. Black women make life easier on the black man because her wants and desires are so excessive. And times are so difficult for the black man to earn enough money to support a wife and family that he generally agrees that it is a good idea if she has her own money. He doesn't have enough for himself. He would much rather be the breadwinner in charge of the money. But if he has a woman who makes outrageous demands on his wallet, he can't compete. He knows she will never be satisfied with his provisions and therefore gives up his rightful place as chief of finance and budget. Number two, her own person means she demands total control of her own decision-making processes. It is part of her hard-earned independence. Anything he tells her to do or any advice he renders comes under careful scrutiny. Many times a black woman will do the direct opposite of what the black man tells her to do just to prove to him that he can't boss her around. Repetitive rejection leaves him with no alternative but to stand back and let her be her own person. Even if her own person is a fool, he watches her flounder about. Number three, can do things on her own and doesn't count on me for everything. This includes her happiness, since the black woman has proven by her behavior and responses that the black man doesn't know what to do to make her happy. He has nearly given up the desire to do so. He is faced with the mental torment of knowing she rejects his ideas, but that her ideas are impossible for him to execute and fulfill. So it is best if she counts on her own self for her own happiness. She calls it freedom of choice. The black man calls it saving himself from endless hassles and debates, predictably ending with her having her way. Number four, who makes her own decisions. The black man consents to allowing the black woman to make her own decisions. He has learned that if he persists in trying to convince her to follow his advice, he has to be prepared to argue it out for days, or he can physically force his woman to submit. Physically force is covered in another chapter. Physically force is covered in another chapter. The black woman's loose and ruthless tongue eliminates the black man's alternatives. He cannot outtalk her unless she stops to listen. Therefore, he lets her have her way. A strange thing happens next. Every time the black woman wins an argument against the black woman, she loses further confidence in his ability to handle her because she sees his acquiescence as weakness. All every black woman really wants is for her black man to tell her what to do, make her do it, and take charge of the situation. The black woman involuntarily wants to be overpowered by the black man, albeit she screams like a banshee while he's doing it. Don't believe her. This is just another contradiction in her ever changing behavior. She wants to be conquered, and whenever she is conquered, she proudly brags to her friends about the conquest. She wants to lose, but when he pits her will against the will of the black man and he gives in, she believes that he can't handle her. Then surely he can't handle other outside forces that come against her. She first of all wants to be protected against herself. Number 5 is a professional career woman. This means she has some type of high class title and job in some big business company. She dresses in a certain way and talks the language of whatever her job represents. The so-called corporate world, if it's not a black company, is the worst place for the black woman to be because she exhibits the internal conflict of trying to live the impression she gives on her job and live the real world that exists for her at home or outside the workplace. She, in making a few dollars more than her often routine job holding counterparts, black men, is geared to compete. Sometimes the competition is so aggressive, she calls it assertive, that the black man expresses the antagonism of being defeated by the black woman in front of the white man. Her independence, strained from her salary and circle of friends, allows the black man the relaxation of not having to worry about her needs. She's on the same track as he is, so he relieves himself of the challenge since by the measure she uses, she is equal. So this is just another situation which permits him to defer dealing with her personal problems due to her insistence on occupational and after work equality. He knows she will not let him infringe upon her highfalutin work decisions, nor the ones she makes at home. So, other than sex, he has no responsibility for her. It's simpler, and she knows it. Number 6, likes to have a good time without becoming attached. Is prided by some black men because it too lets him deal any kind of way he chooses, but avoid the responsibility of dealing with the fallout of the after effects. Black women allegedly have become more careful in their sexual involvements because of the AIDS and herpes scares. By but this kind of sexual election only applies if it is a man she is not that fond of. If it's a man she likes and wants to see more of, she will give up the sex and expects and accepts the one night stand. Sometimes she does this because she too does not want to make a commitment or have to contend with anything else the black man has other than his body. Her total statement gets reduced to what she transmits in bed. And after that, she may have no further use for him. Partying, going out, and sex are the only things the black man and black woman can have if they do not commit to each other and try to build a lasting relationship. The black man who knows full well these days that the black woman is filled to the brim with personal problems doesn't always feel like going through all the changes required of him to tame the woman. So they both agree to just participate in what they consider the to participate in what they consider the good parts of a relationship and dismiss the other parts as just a way to bust the groove. These few surface points are made to demonstrate that the black man is in charge of the black woman. Anyway, it's examined because it is he who opens the channels by his permission to allow her to do the things that she does. This is a mistake because a man can rise no higher than his woman. The women in any civilization are indicative of the condition of the men. The black woman is only reflective of the black man's failure to do his job, which is to take charge of his woman. So if the black woman is troubled, so is he. No matter how he sciences it up, that he doesn't have anything to do with it, or that she won't give him permission to execute his will, she has lost her memory and she does not remember how to agree. And that was chapter 4. Chapter 4, the wedding, the beginning of The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman by Shahrazad Ali, Dr. Shahrazad Ali, or Sister Shahrazad Ali. Man. I don't want to read chapter 5 because it's only 2 pages. But I'll leave chapter 5. I'll do 5 and 6 next time because 5 is short. 6 is long. 6 is long. Yeah, I'll do 5 and 6 next time. 5 and 6. Chapter 5 and 6. Chapter 5 is social integration, dating, and marrying the white man. And chapter 6 is communications. Communications. I think that's a good one. Both of them will be good. Well, that's that, man. I hope you all got something that you can learn and grow from chapter 4, the beginning, marriage, the beginning. Let me make sure I'm right. The wedding, chapter 4, the wedding, the beginning. I hope that y'all got something. There's a lot that I can agree with, and I've heard. I can be like, yeah, oh, that's true. But, you know, what's also true is that the black man has to take back his rightful place, which is on top. Head honcho. Numero uno. And it don't matter if the black woman don't like it or not. King. You know, guess who's back? You know, that's what it need to be. For real. That's what it need to be. Guess who's back? The black man. But we'll come back next time with chapter 5 and chapter 6. Shalom. I hope everybody had a great Sabbath. And we'll pick it up tomorrow. Hopefully it's not that cold back here tomorrow. So my boys can be back here. I know they want to be back here looking at the books. But we'll get it next time. Reading with Shilo. Shilo out. Oh, my bad. Leave me man, let me know. Hit the comments, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the readings. Let me know any other books that you think should be read or you might want to hear. I had one brother comment. I have to go back and look for that book. And we'll go from there. We'll keep reading Dr. Shahrazad Ali's books and then see what we're going to jump to next. You know, we'll see what's what. I want to read the book of Jasher. That's what I want to read. But we'll get to it. You know, just keep moving. We'll keep moving. But shalom, man. That's it, man. Hit me up. Let me know what's good. Hit the comments. Like, comment, subscribe.